You know those days where everything seems to be going south? You're stressed out, you're anxious. You can feel that prickly feeling down to your tippy toes and your fingertips. You have that pressure in your chest like you can't get enough air. Not a full-on panic mode, but you feel like you could definitely head in that direction. I think a lot of us have had that feeling once in our lives, or maybe even more so lately. I'm not an over-anxious person in general. I can usually keep a pretty level head about things, unless it has to do with my kids. All logic and knowledge and know-how go out the door when it involves my kids. I remember when my son was 12 months old and he had fever for the first time. And along with the fever, he had a few, 3 tiny little scattered petechiae on his chest, little tiny broken blood vessels, like little bruises. And I remember having that feeling, that purge of full-on panic mode. And normally, if I was the physician, I would tell the parents, let's watch it for a few hours, see where things go. If he's continuing to be feverish, or he gets more lethargic, or he gets more petechiae, let's reevaluate. But for now, let's just give him some Tylenol, keep him comfortable, and I'll check back with you in a couple of hours. But as a mom, and not the doctor, my brain went straight to meningococcemia and his imminent fulminant septic shock and death in 24 hours from onset of illness, all while he was smiling and acting completely normal, not even acting like he had a fever. And there I was at his 12-month checkup with my colleague, who was his pediatrician, on the verge of tears. The fever self-resolved just after a few hours. He never developed any other symptoms and couldn't get any more petechiae, and they self-resolved. And I think over the years, I have developed a little more trusting relationship with God and a little less crazy mommy. And most of my anxiety, I think I can still give to God and feel comforted. But when it comes to family and my kids, I still get a bit thrown off my game. That initial overwhelming emotional response gets my brain in that tailspin, and it takes a little while for me to refocus on God. My daughter has had a fever for the past few days, and in the midst of this pandemic, all sorts of anxiety about her, my family, everyone we know has come rushing in, and that old familiar feeling of panic and loss of control. A few years ago, Terry Benson gifted me Max Lucado's book, Anxious for Nothing. And since then, I've gifted that book to several other people and encouraged others to read it. In that first chapter of the book, he says, the presence of anxiety is unavoidable, but the prison of anxiety is optional. Anxiety, that fight or flight response to situation, it helps us survive and be alert to imminent dangers. Acknowledging the anxiety-provoking situation is a good thing. Being alert to it is a good thing. But you don't want to be trapped in that anxiety loop. You gotta acknowledge the smoke and the fire, and you gotta know if you need to put it out or run. When you see that bear coming down your street, you gotta know to run, which happens to us from time to time on our street. But you don't want to be stuck in that anxiety. You don't want to be overwhelmed by that anxiety. You can trust God to have a plan, and you could trust Him to take on your anxiety and take care of it. My usual morning prayer goes like this. I trust that God, you will put me where you need me today. Please help me to be who you need me to be with those you send my way. And if I fall short, I ask and trust that you will fill my shortcomings with your grace and power and take care of your children. Help me to live today for your purpose and your glory. I don't have all the answers. All I can do is be present and listen to his guidance and trust he has control and he has a plan. I don't have the results to my daughter's test yet. I don't know where things will go. Whatever the results are for now or for the rest of this pandemic, I don't have the answers. I don't know where things are going to go. All I do know is he is in control and he has a plan and I can trust him. Jeremiah 17:7-8, he says, "But I will bless those who put their trust in me. They're like trees growing near a stream and sending out roots to the water. They do not have to be afraid of hot weather because their leaves will stay green. They have no worries when there is no rain. They keep bearing fruit." It's okay to have anxiety, but don't keep it. Give it to him. Lighten your load. He is in control. Let go and let God. Have a blessed day.